Have you ever had a moment in life when a single truth hit you so hard that you could never look at the world the same way again? It's like the veil is lifted, and suddenly, the things you once worried about, the people you once tried to impress, the problems you thought would destroy you, they lose their power. That's what we're talking about today. This is not just motivation. This is Stoicism, the ancient philosophy that forged warriors, leaders, and thinkers. The truth I'm about to share isn't soft or comforting, it's brutal, but it's also liberating. Once you realize it, your life will never be the same again. So before we dive deep into the 7 most powerful Stoic realizations that can transform your existence forever, do me a favor, smash that like button, subscribe, and turn on the bell. Because if you're here, it means you're ready for real change, not comfort, but transformation. Let's begin. 1. You control nothing but yourself. There's a brutal truth most people spend their entire lives running from. You control nothing in this world except yourself. And the sooner this reality sinks into your bones, the sooner you'll stop suffering over things that were never in your hands to begin with. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength." Think about that. Every restless night you've had, every time your chest tightened with anxiety, it was never because of the event itself. It was because you were trying to control what you never could. You worried about what people thought of you. You replayed conversations, trying to rewrite the past. You obsessed over outcomes, clung to expectations, begged the future to bend to your will. But no matter how hard you tried, the world refused to obey. Life is chaos. People will betray you. Opportunities will slip away. Storms will come without warning. You can't stop any of it. And the more you fight against this truth, the more powerless you feel. But here's the paradox. The very moment you accept that you control nothing outside yourself, you discover the deepest power a human being can ever know. Because what do you really command? Your thoughts. Your choices. Your actions. That's it. And yet, that is everything. When someone insults you, you can't control their mouth, but you can control whether their words poison your peace or bounce off you like nothing. When life crushes you with loss, you can't control the pain, but you can control whether that pain destroys you or forges you into steel. Picture yourself standing on the shore, watching waves crash. You can scream at the ocean, demand it calm down, but the waves don't care. They'll keep coming. That's life. You don't get to command the storm, but you do control how you face it. Will you drown in resistance, or will you learn to ride the waves? The moment this truth clicks inside you, your entire life changes. The noise of the world fades. The opinions, the chaos, the uncontrollable events, they lose their grip. And you step into a strength that can't be taken from you. Because in the end, the world belongs to chaos, but your mind belongs to you. 2. Everything you love is temporary. There's a truth so sharp most people spend their whole lives numbing themselves to avoid it. Everything you love is temporary. The people you hold closest, the possessions you cling to, the moments you treasure, all of it is slipping through your fingers right now. Every sunrise you see is one less you'll ever witness. Every conversation with someone you love could be the last. And yet, instead of waking us up, most of us pretend life will last forever. Seneca wrote, "We are dying every day. Not tomorrow, not someday. Every single day, pieces of our life are quietly being carved away. You can ignore it, or you can let it fuel you. Because when you face the reality of impermanence, you stop living like you have unlimited time. Suddenly, the argument you were going to drag out for weeks feels meaningless. The chance to hug your mother, to laugh with a friend, to sit under the stars, it becomes sacred. Look at your own life. How many hours have you wasted scrolling, gossiping, or obsessing over people who don't matter, while the very people who love you sit in silence waiting for your attention? One day, that chair will be empty. That voice will be gone. And all the small, precious things you ignored will ache in your memory. This isn't meant to crush you. This is meant to wake you up. Because once you realize that everything you love is temporary, you finally start loving it the right way. You stop taking people for granted. You stop postponing joy for someday. You stop assuming you'll have time later. The Stoics didn't fear death, they let it sharpen their gratitude. Every sip of water, every breath of fresh air, every shared laugh was a miracle, because they knew it wouldn't last. And that's the paradox. When you embrace impermanence, life doesn't feel emptier. It feels infinitely richer. So stop clinging to life as if it's yours to keep. It isn't. It's borrowed. Every second is a gift, and the moment you realize that, you live with a fire that ordinary people will never know. 3. Pain is your teacher, not your enemy. Most people run from pain their entire lives. They treat it like the enemy, like something to avoid at all costs. But the Stoics knew the truth. Pain is not here to destroy you, it's here to teach you. Epictetus said, "Difficulties show what men are." Think about it. The strongest, most resilient people you admire didn't get there by living an easy, painless life. They were forged. Every scar they carry, every heartbreak they endured, every failure they overcame, those weren't curses, they were lessons. But you, how many times have you cursed life for being unfair? How many times have you prayed for comfort, for an easier road, for a way to avoid the fire? You don't realize it, but every time you run from pain, you run from growth. Because comfort never made anyone strong. He's never built anyone unbreakable. It's the weight, the pressure, the suffering that carves character into your bones. Imagine the blacksmith forging a sword. The metal doesn't become sharp by resting in the fire, it becomes sharp by enduring it. It's hammered, beaten, burned, cooled, and struck again and again until it's unbreakable. That's you? Every trial you face is the hammer. Every heartbreak is the flame. And every time you endure, you are being shaped into something far stronger than you were before. The problem is, most people never allow themselves to be forged. They escape the fire too soon. They numb their pain with distractions, alcohol, endless scrolling, fake pleasures. And in doing so, they remain soft, fragile, and unprepared for life's storms. But once you realize that pain is your teacher, everything changes. Instead of asking, "Why me?" you start asking, "What is this teaching me?" Instead of breaking under the weight, you use the weight to grow stronger. Pain becomes fuel. And when you can face suffering without fear, you become unstoppable. So don't curse your hardships. Thank them. Because every scar on your soul is proof that you didn't just survive, you were transformed. 4. Opinions of others mean nothing. Here's a truth that will set you free the moment it really sinks in. Other people's opinions mean absolutely nothing. Yet, most of us are chained by them like slaves. We shape our lives around what others might think, we censor ourselves out of fear of judgment, and we carry invisible prisons on our backs, built entirely out of someone else's words. Marcus Aurelius said, "It never ceases to amaze me. We all love ourselves more than other people, but care more about their opinion than our own." Isn't that insane? You know your thoughts, your intentions, your struggles, and yet you allow the careless words of someone who barely knows you to control your peace of mind. Think about how many opportunities you've lost because you were too worried about what people would say. How many dreams you buried because someone might laugh at you. How many nights you replayed an insult, letting it rot inside your chest like poison. And for what? Did their opinion build your life? Did their judgment pay your bills? Did their criticism carry you through dark nights? No. It was nothing but noise. The truth is, most people are too busy fighting their own insecurities to actually care about you. That stranger on the street? They won't remember you tomorrow. That friend, who mocked your dreams? They're projecting their own fear. That family member who doubts you? They're just speaking from their own limitations. None of it has anything to do with you. Here's the paradox. The moment you stop caring about opinions, you gain respect. Because the world can't resist someone who walks with conviction. The critics fall silent in the presence of someone who doesn't even flinch at their words. You want freedom? Stop letting your self-worth be dictated by the noise of others. So the next time someone talks behind your back, smile. The next time they insult you, Remember this: their words have zero power unless you hand it to them. You are not here to meet their expectations. You are here to live your truth. And once you realize that, their voices vanish into nothing. 5. Death is not the end to fear, but the beginning of freedom. There's a shadow that hangs over every human being, whether we admit it or not. That shadow is death. Most people avoid even thinking about it. They distract themselves, live in denial, pretend they have unlimited time. But the Stoics faced it head on, and in doing so, they discovered the deepest freedom a person can ever know. Memento mori, remember you must die. For the Stoics, this wasn't dark, it was empowering. Because once you accept that death is inevitable, fear loses its grip. Imagine how differently you'd live if you truly believed today could be your last. Would you waste time scrolling mindlessly? Would you hold back your words of love? Would you bury your dreams for someday? The truth is, most people live like they're immortal, and because of that, they never live at all. They think they have time. But time is slipping away right now, this very second. Every tick of the clock is a reminder that your story is moving toward its end. But here's the beauty: when you stop fearing death, you finally start living. Suddenly, courage becomes natural. Taking risks, speaking truth, chasing your calling, what is there to fear if death is already guaranteed? The worst that can happen is already certain. Everything else is just noise. The Stoics meditated on death daily, not to be morbid, but to awaken. To remind themselves that life is urgent. That every kiss, every laugh, every sunrise is a miracle because it won't last. Death doesn't steal meaning from life. It gives life meaning. So instead of running from it, embrace it. Let it remind you not to waste a second. Because when you accept death fully, you stop fearing it. And when you stop fearing death, you become truly free. 6. The world owes you nothing. One of the most poisonous beliefs you can carry is entitlement. The idea that the world somehow owes you love, success, fairness, or comfort. The Stoics destroyed this illusion with a simple, brutal truth: the world owes you nothing. Epictetus said, "Don't hope that events will turn out the way you want. Welcome events in whichever way they happen. This is the path to peace." Do you see the shift? Life isn't here to serve you. The universe isn't obligated to hand you happiness. Waiting for life to be fair, for people to treat you right, for luck to strike, that's a recipe for misery. Look at your own life. How many times have you thought, "I don't deserve this"? But who told you life would play by your rules? Who promised you justice, ease, or comfort? No one. And yet, we carry this silent expectation that things should go our way. When they don't, we collapse in frustration. But here's the liberation. Once you drop the idea that life owes you anything, you stop waiting. You stop blaming. You stop complaining. And instead, you start creating. You become responsible for your own destiny. If success doesn't come, you build it. If love fails, you learn and grow stronger. If tragedy strikes, you rise from the ashes. This doesn't mean life is hopeless. It means life is yours to shape. But only if you stop playing the victim and start taking ownership. The world doesn't owe you a smooth road. But it gives you legs to walk it. And that's enough. 7. True freedom is mastery of the self. Most people think freedom means doing whatever you want, indulging in every desire, chasing every impulse, avoiding every discomfort. But the Stoics flipped this idea upside down. They taught that true freedom is not the absence of restraint, but the mastery of the self. Think about it. If you can't control your anger, you're a slave to it. If you can't resist temptation, you're a prisoner of your desires. If you can't face fear, you're shackled by it. You might look free from the outside, but inside you are chained. The Stoics knew that the man who conquers himself is greater than the man who conquers nations. Because what good is ruling an empire if you can't even rule your own mind? History is filled with kings, celebrities, and billionaires who had everything the world offers but lived in torment because they never mastered themselves. Now look at your own life. How many times have you let emotions drive you into regret? How many times have you let cravings pull you into weakness? How many times have you let fear hold you back from your destiny? Every single time, you weren't free. You were enslaved by yourself. But here's the good news: mastery is possible. Every time you resist anger, you win. Every time you stay disciplined when it's easier to quit, you win. Every time you choose courage over fear, you win. These victories build a fortress inside you that no one can tear down. And when you reach that place, you no longer need validation, possessions, or status. Your peace cannot be stolen, because it doesn't depend on anything outside you. That is true freedom. In conclusion, once you realize these truths, that you control nothing but yourself, that life is temporary, that pain is a gift, that opinions are worthless, that death is liberation, that the world owes you nothing, and that freedom is self-mastery, your life will never be the same again. This is not just philosophy. This is power. This is Stoicism. If this hit you hard, if you're ready to live with strength, not excuses, then like this video, subscribe to the channel, and share it with someone who needs to wake up. Because once this realization burns inside you, there is no going back.